Hey y'all, it's Stephen Van Kampen-Lewis. It is here towards the end of January, and on one of my last videos, actually William Lush, I believe his name is, asked a question about some of the sort of discolored bulbs on the Catasetums that I showed last time. And he was just wondering, hey, what's going on with that? So I probably should have pointed that out in the last video, but I'll talk a little bit more about those discolored bulbs here on today's video to sort of describe the difference between a catasetum, a healthy catasetum back bulb that's just being absorbed, and sort of an unhealthy catasetum back bulb that's probably rotting. It's fairly easy to tell them apart, but let me turn the camera around and we'll jump right into it. All right, so I think I've got a pretty good cross section of the different types of bulbs and what the coloration or discoloration means. So let's start off with fairly healthy bulbs that are being absorbed by the plant. So we've got a couple examples over here. You can see how bright orange these are, excuse me. You can see how bright orange those are. And there's another one or two back here. And so in that kind of a situation, you know, ideally you are not having a whole lot of back bulbs being absorbed because typically if you have a bunch of back bulbs being absorbed, there's probably something culturally wrong. And this summer's just brutal heat and spider mites and sun was probably enough to really not have a super great growing season. So in the case of these plants here, you can see this one is absorbing 3 bulbs, but it's a large plant, so it's not that big of a deal. And that one over there is absorbing 2 bulbs. So again, that is culturally something is wrong, or at least was wrong during the growing season. But again, on a larger plant, that's not too bad. What typically happens on Cycnices, however, is that you'll get a single growth and then the back bulb will be absorbed during dormancy. Sometimes you'll get 2 or maybe even 3, but typically you don't have a huge plant with lots of back bulbs. And so this is an imported Cycnices cooperi, and this one is not an example of a super healthy bulb. I'll have to watch this. So you can see that this back bulb, it's pretty squishy here and it's kind of brown. So this is not healthy. What's going to happen is that this is going to flop over and I don't really know what's going to happen. So these imports can be tricky, especially if you have a rough growing season. As you can see, this one is just starting to shut down, and this sort of squishy, dark, sort of brown coloration on this older bulb, that's the indication that something really bad is happening. Probably rot. This past week, this tent got down to about 40 degrees, and I think that may have triggered this particular squishiness here. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this one. It's not doing well. It's frustrating, but this is the difference between sort of a rotting coloration, this brown here, and then that bright orange bulb coloration that you see there on those Catasetums. So this is a pretty good comparison of what you don't want to see here and what is acceptable over there. Now, as you can see, I put that one back. As far as a course of action, there's nothing I'm going to do except for watch it. I suspected that the base of that rotting bulb will just sort of shrivel quickly, and then I'll probably have the old back bulb stay green, and there's a good chance that I'll be able to get more plants out of that. There's also a good chance that it'll all die, but what could happen is I could cut that off, and there'll be some nodes where a new plant can grow in the spring, and that might be what I have to do. And then this newest bulb with the leaves that are starting to fall off, I bet that'll be fine. So I'll essentially have 2 plants this time next year of that same clone, but we'll see. And so typically after those back bulbs have been absorbed on the healthy plants, they'll just sort of shrivel up like this. So you can see this one was orange. It's almost depleted of nutrients. It's pretty hard, but there's still a little bit of squishiness in there. And once those last little bit of nutrition has been slurped out of that old back bulb, it'll totally shrivel up. It'll be completely dry, and I'll just be able to twist it off and pull it out. Something else that you can see here is this is an old back bulb that's being absorbed, and some of you might say, hey, well that's not good. That's that sort of dark rotten color. And this is actually sunburn. So what happened is this bulb got scorched, and then now it's being absorbed. So it is actually a healthy bulb absorbing or being absorbed, which is okay. And then the sunburn makes it look pretty gnarly. I don't know what's going on with this one. I would have to pull this one off and check, but I suspect this was kind of a mutant spike that turned into a growth and couldn't figure out what it wanted to do, so it's just ugly. But it's another one that I can just twist and pull off. Catasetum fong sing flowers are opening slowly, and you can see how thick and waxy and dark those are. They're just so cool. Such a great cross. I gotta yet again thank William Green for giving me that one. I just love it. And that's the long and short of a healthy back bulb being absorbed versus an unhealthy bulb rotting. So I hope that helps. Let me know if this is something that you've seen, and if you need any help with that, or if you've got stuff like this going on in your collection right now. Anyway, talk to you later.